Good morning, and happy Wednesday, September 7th. This is this week's edition of Access Denied. We got myself, John Little. We got my partner in the struggle, Miss Sonya Thomas, Sonya the mom. But we got a special guest today, Sonya, and I want to give it up for Ms. Moore. Ms. Moore has gone through our fellowship and not just talked about being a Nashville PROPEL powerful parent leader, but actually showing it, whether it's showing up at our backpack drive, knocking on doors in the hot sun, or today being the special guest on our powerful parent edition. And Ms. Moore, how are you doing today?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And we're coming off of Labor Day. We had an extended weekend. The weather's kind of been up and down. But Sonya, how's your week started?
Hey, I can say it's better than last week in the week.
I can imagine.
Thank God. Starting off good. I think I'm still like hyped from last night. Like I campaign called our family. So, like I said, like they keep me motivated and inspired. Mm-hmm. Appreciate it.
So guys, if you did miss it, for our alumni, we had an amazing group. We got some good training, but it was so much energy on the call. And Ms. Moore, you can speak to it. It was so much energy that myself, I was at soccer practice with my son, and I just had to start jogging. Like I had to start running because I didn't want to be in the car speeding. So I was like, let me run before I speed.
He did that. He did that. Yesterday, I really appreciate just being on the call and getting, more practice with what we do.
Yes, ma'am.
Look, this is what I like about it. So she understands the code already. She like, with what we do. Mm-hmm. What a great communicator. And I want to shout you out because Kimberlee, she's got a very sweet, calming voice. Mm-hmm. And I'm very like loud. My kids are like, can you turn your passion volume down? And I'm loud when it comes to work, but like really I'm not. But yeah, I am loud. But anyway, she showed up in such a powerful way yesterday. Ready to learn, ready to take action, unafraid. Like I know there's some anxiety there, like when we do stuff, but unafraid because you tapped into why we have to do this work. But also like even moving through your personal stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Like a movement builder is somebody that takes this, like they take professional and personal risk. And last night, as you told us how your week was going, I saw that characteristic, and I want to shout you out to the masses and say thank you from the bottom of our heart.
Mm-hmm. Nah, and I totally agree.
Wow. Laqueda said she can't find in her inbox. John, send it to her again.
Okay, so do this. Give me 2 minutes, and then I'll get it to her, then we'll get this thing rolling.
We're going to get you on here, sweetheart. We're going to get you on here. So like, now it's just me and you against the world. John done left. Hey, Nicole. Shout out to Nicole. Nicole showed up strong on there. Hey, Tammy Awali. Thank you for joining us. Tammy is like one of our people that joins us regularly. Tammy, we'd love to have you on here with us too. I think that's Real with the Facebook user. Good morning, Real. Victoria, Vicky G, as I call her affectionately call. That's my Vicky G. Y'all roll up on my Vicky G. I'm taking your car doors off. I'm taking your
Me too. Me too. That's my girl.
That's my girl. Before we got on here, y'all, I was messing with somebody and it was like fussing about something. I was like, take their car doors off. Sometimes I make jokes like that when people get mad to calm them down. I'm like, go take their car doors off. They was like, what? I was like, yeah, go take I was joking though, but just make it light and helping somebody to get through a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
So school done started, Kimberlee.
Yes, ma'am.
How's it going for your kids?
My son at Nashville Classical is doing well.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter that goes to Belshire,
mm-hmm.
It's been a little rocky for her.
Mm-hmm.
I am trying to get her a new IEP meeting right now, because they have her under what she was last year in pre-K, and she's in kindergarten. And she also has other things that need to be added to it. So that's what I've been going through for school anyway.
Okay. Let us know how we can help. Be glad to help you with some strategies to kind of get some things done, whether it's connecting you with one of the district directors like Miss Sonia Dobbs that usually helps some of our parents out. She may be able to help you and put you with a coach or someone to help with your IEP. Like, don't let this go on too long when we have resources that we can tap in. She helped me with a ST meeting, came to ST meeting with me. She is a woman of her word, and I have so much respect for Sonia Dobbs. And so if you need us to connect you with Miss Dobbs to kind of help you to get things, because sometimes it's just a communication thing, or it couldn't be like you. What I like about what you just said is you're on top of, you're like her IEP can't look like it did last year. Like, it has to, she's in kindergarten now. We should be moving her forward. And so shout out to you for being on top of things. I'll tell y'all something. I go to war, any war with mothers who have children who are exceptional learners and gifted. I will go to war with y'all any day because it's just a different fight. It's a hard fight. First of all, you got to fight every minute of the day, and I understand that. And so your fight is different. Hey, my girl, Sarah Carpenter, you know what? Sarah, check your schedule. I think it's time for you to be on Access Denied. We need a special edition. We need the Lady Tennessee and sign you the mom up on here. So check your schedule for next Wednesday and let us know. Miss Sarah Carpenter, I have so much respect for her. She is mother movement in my eyes. She is the woman that inspired me here in Nashville, and she is leading and the executive director for the Memphis Lift. And she's going across this country, and she is helping parents like myself and parents like you guys to build a movement to fight for what's best for all of our children. So what up? That's my girl. Love her so much and appreciate the work that she does. We got to get her on here so y'all can meet her, because Miss Sarah, we got a whole bunch of new parents that probably hadn't met you. We got to get you to Nashville so they can hear your story. Hey, Cree, that's my girl, Cree. Cree was up in my inbox last night. She was in there early, and we was inboxing early this morning. That's my girl. Cree is the mother of 12, and I have so much respect for her. She ain't playing. Yeah. She ain't playing with nobody. Hey, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, Sarah. Who else we got on here? So when John get back, we trying to get Miss Laqueda on here, so that we can have a roundtable discussion about some of the things that are going on in education, and you know, how children are doing right here in Nashville as we really approach the tail end of the semester. Can you believe that, Kimberlee? Like, what are your thoughts about? It's already September, right? Yeah. You got any thought about that?
It's too soon.
Yeah, it's going fast, ain't it?
Yeah, very, very fast. And I don't feel like I guess the the school year, they're keeping it going, but the kids are still stuck.
The kids are tell me a little bit more about that.
Everybody, all kids, the ones that have very well prior to the pandemic, and the ones that were doing well are struggling now because of the way that Metro did learning for them for the last 2 years. Everybody's stuck. And then the ones that were already lost in the sauce are even, they mixed.
She said lost in the sauce, stuck and lost in the sauce. But let everybody tell it, the children have grown. They're back to the poor crisis level numbers of prior to the pandemic, and people are celebrating that. And that scares me, that people, like, when you can say, I'm back to an F. I'm back to an F. That's scary. And although I do understand, like, okay, the pandemic numbers, like, the thing is, they are supposed, there was no real expectation for these children coming out of the pandemic. There was no real expectation for them, and for people to say, they're back at the crisis level numbers that they were, and they're celebrating, seeing their growth. That's why I want you guys to think about, well, what does growth really mean, right? If I went from an F- to F+, I grew, but was that really meaningful?
No, it's like when we are looking at the scores for the schools, and it has NA, the kids are still in NA. They're not even at an F.
Just stuck
in the sauce.
Stuck in the sauce. John, you hear that? She said they stuck in the sauce.
And you gotta think that when it says NA, a lot of people gotta realize what that means. It's so low that they really post it on there. And how many schools do we have? But how many kids do we really have that are at a school that's labeled NA, not for just 1 year, but maybe 3 or 4 years in a row? And I think that's where it starts to get, and I think Torvis said it starts to get criminal. Yeah. Because you have,
what's past criminal, John? What's past criminal? Is there a word? I mean, it's been criminal.
Yeah. I can say a lot. I'm gonna watch myself, because I'm just saying, the 3-strike rule in California said if you break the law 3 times, you get 25 to life. And some people unfortunately got 25 to life based on like stealing some food from the store. And when I think about
being their color,
yep, being their color, and we gotta watch that stuff. But I think about what it means for our kids when you go to a school, an elementary school that's low performing, bottom 5% or lower. You go to a middle school that's bottom 5% or lower. Then you go to a high school that's bottom 5% or lower. And meanwhile, for me, they're talking about building a Titan Stadium, and I love the Titans. I got some tickets ready for this Sunday, but excuse my French, but F the Titan Stadium if we ain't got our education system right. Like, they can keep it.
They can keep it because they already done got their bag.
Come on now.
They already done got their bag. Sarah says Superman is not coming.
At all.
Superman is not coming. Laqueda, good morning. How you doing? Good morning.
And we got some people checking in. We got being back before the pandemic isn't any better from Miss Taylor. Laqueda says, okay, she got some technical difficulties. Victoria says these babies need urgency now. This is heartbreaking to me. Jordan checking in, Shamika checking in. Okay, everybody, back to school, folks. Okay, we was missing y'all during the summer. Y'all all coming in. Thank you.
Hey,
lock them up.
Lock them up. Now I said it. Lock them up.
But we got to think about that, and we got to think about like what poverty means, right? And like who wants to be a victim of crime? But when you put somebody in a situation, right? And again, I'm not going to talk long, but history says when they created the suburbs, they allowed everybody who was originally staying inner city to move out there. And who moved into the inner city? Black people, brown people, poor people. And now that the tide is changing, they don't want to give the people who helped keep the city thriving any place to go. So I think
that's gonna backfire on them. I think it's gonna eventually. So Mayor Cooper, all y'all, let me tell you something. There's nothing. We are God's people. First of all, let me tell y'all, you God's people, and a lot of this stuff has to do with racism. It has to do with white supremacy. It has to do, if you want to put it in layman's term, it's the have and the have-nots. And you just cannot keep on keeping on like just walking over God's people. And I have to keep my faith too in all of this, with all this stuff like going on around us. I'm like, God, you know what? Like, none of us really asked to be here, but you have us here for a purpose. And I just want to believe that God is just going to take care of us. And that's why we got to keep on fighting. And we can't, it's easy to give up and it's easy to throw in the towel. But thank God for a movement of Black and brown parents who are willing to fight through adversity and not take no for an answer, and to continue to fight for our children. And we got to take matters in our own hands, guys. Like, some of this stuff is we just can't keep waiting on these people, and so we got to take some really revolutionary actions while we're holding these people accountable. We just have to. What does that look like, John? What does that look like, Kimberlee?
I think we got to say how are we doing it right now? Mm-hmm. And then how can we do it? Like, how can we do it? What do the parents think? Parents like Kimberlee, parents like you, parents like me. Who is doing it in other places or other schools, or maybe right here, like let's say Nashville? Who is working and serving a population that hasn't been served, but using those same kids, working with the families, working with the students, and educating them well? I don't think it's rocket science. I just think that's what we always been doing. When we had a race to the moon, right? We saw Russia create the Sputnik, and we said, we can do it better. And they did it better. They landed on the moon and they put a flag, but they saw how another country did it and they did it better. Why can't we do that with education right here in our own city? Who is doing education well in Nashville?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's so funny though, like how people are so anti-child.
Mm-hmm.
They're so anti-child and they're so power hungry. They're so controlling. These children belong to us.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that people don't respect that pisses me off.
Mm-hmm.
And they we got to be careful about the people that we put in power, guys. We got to make sure that we have people that have like the same educational values that we have. Because you got people that get in these seats and they lose their freaking minds, and they get in their sororities and fraternities of people, and they get in their cliques, and they make decisions for you and I based on what the clique usually does, right? It's like we're this and we're that, and this is the way that we usually do it. And they begin to have all this infight, and they're fighting, and we're on the outside where the people are struggling, and we're watching them fight against each other. The politics.
And Miss Moore, when you hear all this and you see, so one of your kids attends school in one part of East Nashville and another in I guess the Northeast. Like what helps you make the decision when you think about education? Like what's most important to you for a school to have for your kids?
Well, when I had my son, when he was 3 years old, I decided that I was going to go to all of the charter schools.
Yes, ma'am.
And his zone school. I found that his zone school would not be the best fit for him.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I decided to put him in public or charter school because that was a better fit for him. Now that I have another child with other disabilities, and with her having the IEP, they basically put her in a school. I was not really too much aware of the school that she goes to now. So I am still trying to fill out her school. My son's school, I have developed a relationship with not just the teachers, but the school itself.
Yes, ma'am.
And so for him, for my son, I feel like he's getting a better opportunity versus my daughter. But then with everything that she needs, and charter schools, they can't, all the services she needs can't come into a charter school. So I just choose to keep her in a public school.
So I want to give you a heads up about that. All of the services that she needs can go to any public charter school because they are public schools. I think we have to find out where is the good fit, just like any school. Like that's one thing that I always tell parents is you have to know that charter schools are public schools, and so they're required by federal law to do the same thing. And if they're not, then let us know. But they should be able to provide the same services. So I would create a checklist to see what you need, what you want in that school. I love the way you say, I got a relationship in that school. It's like, okay, well, what are the characteristics that I want from that school? And try to figure out the best fit. And that's for anybody that's listening to me. Like, make sure that you have, just like your checklist. So if you trying to find a mate, a restaurant, a good pair of shoes, a hairdresser, a car, a house. My daughter is buying a house. We're going to do a home inspection on Friday. And she, for her house, I said, what are the things that you want in a home? And make your vision of what that looks like, and do the same things with your schools. And let me tell you something, if they don't fit your vision, get out of there quickly. Get your children out of there. I don't care what kind of school they are. If they are not fulfilling, helping you to reach your child to reach their greatest potential, get out of there.
Yeah, and I think what we say, Sonya, anybody can get it. Anybody can get it.
Public school, private school,
Right.
homeschool.
Homeschool, yeah. We'll call it DCS. But Tarshay says, thank you for not being afraid to speak up. These kids need serious help, and thank you for that. Torvis goes in and says, you said remember the Titans, you will have no choice but to remember them because none of our kids right now will be playing for the Titans or any other teams. They're not on path to go to college and in the NFL through MLB, NBA, soccer, or any other league.
And let me tell y'all something. Don't get tricked. Thank you, Torvis. I noticed. Now, I ain't see, this is the thing. I love stuff, but I can call bullshit from far away.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at a person who was a student athlete, all that stuff. I love school spirit. But let me tell y'all what I've seen some schools do lately. They don't put more pictures up on Facebook. They touting their school spirit. Yeah, John, I see it. I see it.
Mm-hmm.
And they shouting out the football team, or they're shouting out the volleyball team, which is good.
Right.
Check those scores. Check those scores. As Torvis said, all that is good. But if you are expecting your child to enter the NFL, the MLB, or whatever, and them folk ain't reading, they ain't going. They're not going. And so we have got to hold these schools accountable. I don't care. I saw 2 school board members. They were being they were having fun at the expense of our children, talking to each other about their school spirit and which school in their district has the most school spirit. And when I asked them, I'm gonna tell you who it was: Christian Bruggs and Berthina. Y'all know I call folks out. I don't care, McKinney. I will call you out. They on Facebook talking about their school spirit, which I think that's cute and all. I think it's cute. It's real cute. But cute don't teach children how to read. Cute does not get children into college and help them finish college. Cute does not pay the bills. Cute don't keep you alive. So I don't care what kind of school spirit you got if the kids can't read in that school. Sign you the mom.
Yeah.
Go celebrate that.
Yeah. And sometimes it's funny until it's not funny, as we think about the state results about to come out, and it's going to show,
So it's not funny.
For the past 2 months, we have highlighted growth as all I seen. This school is a level 5. And in my mind, just knowing data a little bit, the growth and what they're saying, Ms. Moore, they were saying that children grew, right? We had a pandemic and it was a big recession in academic achievement from the top schools like Hume Fall to the low performing schools who may be on the priority list. And what they would highlight is saying it could say that the school was it had an NA, right? So it was at 5% or less. Now it went to 10%. And so they doubled their growth, but 90% of the students still can't read on grade level. And so from my perspective, and I'm pretty sure science perspective, we don't want to highlight growth. Like we want to say, hey, good work. But we definitely got to keep going.
They're talking about personal growth. Not school growth. When you talk about growth, you're talking about the individual child. So let's just say that your goal is 275.
Mm-hmm.
You started out at 150, but you grew to 160, but your goal is 275. That is what they're telling y'all.
Mm-hmm.
The child still is not on track to get to 275, but did they grow? They grew.
Mm-hmm.
But they only grew to 160 from 150, and the goal is 275.
And I'm gonna say this: they grew from struggling on a computer, trying to find Wi-Fi, we knew that was gonna happen, and so that little bit of growth. But I'm still waiting. Like, I'm optimistic. It's not official. I just, I wanted to say what I said, but I also want to say, hey, we could be blowing it out the water, and I want to give the respect to people to see if we do that. But if not, the math ain't if the math ain't mathing is what my wife's. We may have to do a change. We might have to let parents know that the math ain't mathing up.
No, you guys need to, and you guys, I tell you one of the things. Oh, Yvonne said they pimp the children to support these sports programs. Don't get me started on that, Yvonne. You know how to trigger me to get me to say something. He said, man, these especially the middle school, man. These middle school coaches, man, they pimping these parents so bad. Let me tell y'all something. Middle school sports coaches, are great. I had one of the best middle school coaches in this city, Nancy Startup. Let me tell you what she did to me. She helped to build character. She instilled not just the athleticism, but she helped me to become a better person. She's like a second mom. Now, the middle school coaches don't look like that no more. They trying to get accolades. This lady won so many city championships with us, but you never saw her bragging about herself. You never heard her say, I, Nancy Startup, have beat the brakes off of every school in the city of Nashville times or more. You never heard her say that. But these middle school coaches that I'm seeing now, they want to hype themselves up, but I want to tell y'all something. What a child does in middle school does not necessarily dictate them going to college. Because you got to remember, you don't even have an academic record until you get really into high school.
Right.
So don't let these middle school coaches pimp y'all out of y'all's kids' education. Get them their education. They still got time.
Yeah, and Nicole says it. Take the ball out of their hands and check the academics. We need to go back to encouraging our kids to be educated and not ball stars. Let me tell you why. I went to school. I went to Stratford. I see somebody went to Maplewood. I went to Stratford, and I ain't bragging, but I had nothing but just athletes. I mean, Mr. Basketball, 2,100 yards in rushing, playing both offense and defense. And a memory popped up today, Ms. Moore and Sonya, and it was an old Tennessean article that highlighted what they were achieving on the field. Like, man, we got a powerhouse. And I ain't out here to put down, but it give me the chills. Neither one of those guys made it out of the first semester of college. They made it to college. They made it to the first semester. They did not make it to the second semester. And all those accolades are just trophies and medals on the wall.
And they're precious memories. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, they're not.
But they deserve more than that. They
deserve more than precious memories.
They deserve everything that they want because they excelled on the football field, on the basketball court. And all they needed was to make sure they were academically ready.
Look, I just looked up the statistics. I Googled how many high school students make it to the pro. It says, in short, roughly 853 players. I ain't talking about in your school district. I'm talking about across this country. 0.00075% make the pros each year out of original population of nearly 1.1 million high school athletes. Are y'all listening to that?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta stop feeding these kids wolf cookies.
Mm-hmm. Miss Taylor says my brother was one of the best football players at Stratford. Grades didn't matter. When it was time for him to walk across the stage, he was a credit short. And if you're a credit short, they don't give you no key to the next stage. They say you're going to stay at this stage.
Anything can happen to these kids. They could get hurt. Anything can happen. You got to make sure that they have an equal playing field. And parents, I just want to say to you, fight for your children. Fight for them. Fight for all children. Make sure that they get the education. I know some of y'all done said it because I done said it. Bet nobody mess with my kid. I need you to put that same attitude on. I wish somebody would. You have to have that same attitude around their education. Otherwise, somebody will. Somebody will play with them. Somebody will discount them. Somebody will overlook them. Somebody will be going on about their way while you're struggling. Happens every day. Krishan said, oh, she already said that. We already read
that. If they cannot read and do the basic things in life, what is a ball in the hands?
A ball in the hand, that's it.
That's it.
Ain't no money in their pocket. Dreams not coming true. And it ain't fair. It ain't fair at all. It's not fair at all. We gotta position these children. They don't know any better. That's why they're children. That's what they call children. When I was a child, I thought as a child. You know what I'm saying? Their thoughts are not like ours. And so we've got to make sure that we put them in the best position that we can. And there's a lot of challenges to that. And the system is so wealthy and it has so many politics around it that parents have got to bind together. When we talked about this last night, one band, one sound, making sure that we're all fighting together. Is that Clifford?
Hey, yeah, we got Cliff and we got Thomas in here.
Hey, Thomas, what's
up? We said the Powerful Parent Network. Hey,
okay. Stop playing. Y'all know I love strong black men. I love it. Don't be down in black men, man. And I mean, I be taking up for y'all. Girls be ready to fight me and everything. I don't even care. I think I was born like a tomboy or something. Cause I be fighting for y'all, Cliff. I be fighting.
It's hard out here.
It's hard in these streets. That's I was about to sing my song. Say it's hard here for. Hustling Flow, that's my movie.
but you know, we came down here. It's an event that's highlighting some schools that are doing well academically. Mm-hmm. And so we're gonna check it out because I'm still waiting on the official results. But I just thought it was important that if we want to see a solution, let's look at those schools. Just like it, who are the schools that are doing well, and we down here to see. And so
I have a question. Mm-hmm. What are we considering doing well? Is it based on their quality, or is it based on the quality that parents feel like are doing well? We've got to get away from having people to decide for us what doing well looks like. I am worried about that because that's what's happening. You got people having these celebrations talking about, oh, we grew and we're doing well, but what does that look like? Is that what parents really want? Is that what
we're gonna pop on? Hold on, Thomas said he done seen the numbers. He got some reflection.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited. I didn't know some of the data that's being shown at the moment. For two, I would say right now, for two schools in particular, I'd have to give a shout out to Nashville Classical. I'd have to give a shout out to Purpose Prep in math and ELA.
They killed you, Thomas. I already know.
When you surprised, and you know I'm on every intricate detail. I mean, I don't care if I'm in Green Hills, Antioch, South 8. I don't care where it's at. I'm paying really close to intricate details and just some of that data and they didn't just do what I've heard. It wasn't just done before COVID. Like they even went back before COVID and doing like
on
that.
their numbers. I didn't want to let the cat out of the bag because people be like, you showing favoritism. No, what it is, we know, you know what it is, Thomas. You know how. So I lived out north and I hung and set a court and all that stuff, right? And that's the life that we knew, right? But then when we drove over to Bellevue and Green Hill, it was like, oh, life can be. And remember when you first went to Atlanta, you was like, oh, shucks, right? What it is, we done woke up and we like, wait a minute, that's how school's supposed to look.
I mean, to be smack dab in the middle of North Nashville, Prisoner Pipeline.
Taking the same kids
Yeah.
that those other schools could not educate, and Laqueda Newman is educating them kids. So parents, let me tell y'all this.
She walking the walk.
Don't let nobody tell y'all that black kids can't learn because of they poor. Amy Frog, I'm calling your ass out. I'm sick of you writing stuff. I'm on one that you ain't got me hyped. I'm tired of people with white supremacy thoughts thinking because a kid does not have a certain type of food or they live somewhere that they can't be educated. Don't nobody say that to me no more when Laqueda Newman over there doing that.
It's heavy.
Man, it's heavy, man. I'm sick of people looking at us, thinking because our kids are black, because they come from where they come from, or they may not be eating filet mignon, that they can't learn. Kiss my tail. I almost said something. Sorry.
It's happening. I mean, it's really happening. It's really happening. And I don't think it's enough light, to be honest. I don't think it's enough light being shown on it with stats and data. I mean, I'm in complete. I live up the street, and I've heard about
what you knew now.
Man, oh wow!
You got something to say?
I was just going to say, Mr. Thomas, I didn't even know about it, but I appreciate hearing that because my son is at Nashville Classical, so that makes me happy.
Yeah, it's coming now. I think they're at a ceremony, so he's kind of giving you some light,
fresh,
some tea.
It's like some tea from the country. Yep, plastic tea. Yep, but it's like. We were just saying that the other day. Me and my mama and them, y'all want some tea? Because we country folk too. But the thing is, we need more of that, Thomas. How do we get more purpose preps? Man, forget that. They want to have charter school wars and all that. Man, we're trying to have successful children. We want more of that.
Yeah, whatever Miss Laqueda doing, and she said, she ain't got no special sauce, they putting in some work.
She got a mindset. She got a mindset.
Yeah, she changing a lot. I'm hard to impress.
You know what she got? She got a mindset and she's got a moral compass.
Man.
She got a mind. Laqueda's got a mindset that she has high expectations for children, and she's got a moral compass. And what she's done is she said that with God's will, I'm gonna make sure that I give these. I'm gonna put aside the politics. I'm gonna stay focused. I'm gonna put the blinders on. And she goes in there and says the kids will learn because they deserve to. That is the difference. That's the difference. We're talking about the same kids. The same kids we ain't talking about no different kids. We're talking about the same kids.
I mean, I'm 60 seconds away from Dodge City. That's why I'm in such. That's
Tammy
why I'm in
said,
such
Thomas. Tammy said, "Where's that school at, y'all? Over by the projects."
shock.
That's where it is, Tammy. Over by the projects.
Dodge City.
Dodge City.
Don't
Save
call
a
it Dodge
lot.
City for nothing.
Save a lot. Dollar store. Where the old piece of women, Tammy said she went to Maplewood in 78. Where the Pizza Hut is, we used to go to after the game.
Oh yeah. Oak Valley, go to the bowling alley.
John, you might be a little too young for this. We used to go to the Pizza Hut. We went to the Pizza Hut on Clarksville Highway.
Oh, you know.
Yeah.
I went there 2 years ago to get the bucket.
Oak Valley, the bowl, but we went to the Pizza Hut off Clarksville Highway, John. Rain. That's where we went.
Where you can get salad and the dine-in and stuff.
Yeah. We didn't eat nothing. We was too cute. We went over there. We didn't go over there to eat no pizza because it take you 4 hours to get your pizza. We went over there to see the football players. That's why we
Come on now. and before she roll out, I just wanted Crystal had a big opportunity to speak about the academic results at her child's school, and just wanted to give 60 seconds on what she talked about.
Okay. Hey everybody, cohort 15. So we covered basically the academic progress that's going on in these charter schools, and my job was to basically impress upon them that we need that choice. Yes. We need to keep that choice. Why wouldn't we want to make that choice? And everybody's worried about funding and everybody's worried about who's going to get what. But the truth is, it's supposed to be all for the kids anyway. So what we're trying to do now is collaborate with metro schools and let them know, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what charter schools are doing. Why can't we just work together? We should be wanting our children to be reaching that high standard. After we did our classes with the cohort 15, and I saw that third grade reading was as far as these kids were going, I said, oh, we got a problem. I got to stay involved. So I do appreciate y'all for helping us, become empowered parents. That's what you did. And I appreciate it. And I've been pushing for it since.
Thank you. Can I tell you something? Yes, ma'am. You're already empowered. I want to take a word the way empowerment, because I feel like it takes something away from y'all. We're developing the power that you are. See, when somebody empowers you, they give you power. Baby, you are already powerful. So thank you.
She a Power Ranger. Yeah, she might be a pink one though.
You're already powerful. These parents are already powerful. All we're doing is developing that power. And thank you so much for using your voice.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for teaching me how to mobilize and do so. I appreciate y'all. I do. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one. Let me get my free lunch. Y'all have a great food.
Go on, eat up all their food. Drink that
Yeah, it's pretty exciting in the halls here with so many different people from all over. It's like it's a feeling. It's a feeling. I haven't clapped that much for something being done in my community, and I can't remember, but I mean, just big shout out, like big shout out. I mean, the work, good God, that type of, I mean, I'm not sure how if she even gets any sleep the time. Like she is not playing when it comes to this education. Like she's on it. Like it's very, very, very impressive.
And I think one of the questions that I want to impress upon parents that are listening under the sound of our voice is ask who's growing. Who's growing? Who's growing? Make them tell you who's growing. I want to know who's growing. what school is it? And is it black or white children? Are black children growing at an accelerated rate, or is it going to take them to 2048 to get to where they need to go? Ask them who's growing, how fast are they going. When the police pull people over, what they do? They check them. How fast was your car going? They get your driver's license. Who are you? Ask them questions, because those things are important. So we know Purpose Prep, and we hear the testimony of the parents, and we're hearing the testimony of the parents at Classical. Ask these people to give you receipts. Stop letting them celebrate all around you. Have you ever been to a party and didn't know what the celebration was about? Didn't you feel excluded? Didn't you feel like, well, what the hell is going on? Who's the birthday girl? Who's the birthday boy? How old are they? You got to question everything. You got to question everybody so that you know the truth, so that people are not celebrating around you and you ain't got nothing to celebrate about. That's scary. That's scary. That's scary for me, to be like, oh, yay! And I'm dying. No. What time is it?
It most definitely, it can be done. There's no more talk of I'm gonna need this. I'm like, I get all of that. Don't I'm not putting it to a side, but it's being done.
Yeah, and this is what people do. They use a lame excuse of, we don't have any money. You got money. You got $476 additional $1 million. You got a 1.2 to 1.3 billion dollar budget. You're getting additional monies from philanthropy. You're doing all of these things. You got money coming out of every orifice that you have. I said it nice. You don't know what the orifices is, go Google it. They got money coming out of everything, and what it is, it's a political ploy or a PR move to blame it on money. A PR move. So when they say that to you, ask them, well, how much more money you need? I promise you they can't answer you, because I already done asked somebody. I've already asked somebody, well, how much more do you need? They couldn't say it, because it's not a money issue. It's about leadership. Thomas, Kimberlee, I got one question. When you was growing up, things might not have been perfect in the house. You might not have had all the money, but your mama could take that bag of beans and make a meal.
Oh, yeah, she gonna make a meal.
Come on now.
Yes, ma'am.
You gonna eat.
Make a meal.
You gonna eat.
I don't think it's too much to ask for them to make sure our children can read. Make a meal. Make sure they can read. You don't do nothing else.
Yeah.
Make sure they can read. Make a meal.
So they can at least read the ingredients.
Talk to them.
Preach, Kimberlee. I don't think we asked. Look, just make sure they can read. That's the basics. Y'all ain't even doing the basics. Make sure they can read. Then we can talk about the other stuff. Use the money to make sure the kids can read. Then we can talk. Then they can read the ingredients, right? Come on now. Come on, Kimberlee. You made me shout out. I went to church. I'm about to throw my hat. Rhea said, I'm so proud of you, Lango. My son is still excelling. That's the testimony of the parents. That is the testimony that the world needs to hear, that their child is excelling. Those are the good things that we want to hear. Those are the things we want to hear. When
I mean, just real quick before we get I'm in and out of so many schools, and I've heard a lot about Purpose Prep, but just walking through the halls, it almost feels like education is fun here. Like I've been to so many.
Didn't want to go back to school, did he? Go get some.
I've never seen so many happy like this. I'm in shock, and it's hard to do with me, but I'm in shock.
Yeah.
They do. They
And
do.
what we're saying is we just gotta find more and more schools. Maybe it's Purpose, maybe it's the Thomas Jarvis School, maybe it's the Kimberlee Moore School, but I think we gotta
Maybe
stick
it's
around.
Tom Joy. Maybe
Maybe it's Tom Joy. That's the case. And so what we need parents to do, we're in this movement for you guys that have been showing up on these campaign calls. Like I promise you, it matters. The featured speaker was our cohort 15 graduate. And she was excited to be a part of the fellowship because we're doing the real work. We have the heart in it and we got the muscle. And the muscle ain't coming from Thomas and me. The muscle coming from Miss Kimberlee. I heard. I don't know what sign you got on that head, but
a dunce hat, dunce.
Miss Moore, you want to give any final words as we get ready to wrap up?
I am very, very excited for this year, and see how our children grow.
Yes, man.
All right. Tammy said, "Girl, I went to Tom."
I did too.
Tom, you went to Tom Joy too?
Mm-hmm.
And Tammy, send us your number. We need to follow up.
Yeah, we got something to talk to you about.
Yep.
Krishan,
Okay.
Get it right.
It was cohort 14.
Anybody can get it. Anybody can.
Get it right.
Thank
Let me give a
you.
cohort 15. I created cohort 14.
Get it straight.
I know
You know what, y'all? But John, like here, because we got a lot of people on here. Y'all, we need to do a reunion.
Yes.
Some chicken tenders and fries and can on Thomas. Oh, Thomas gonna eat on meat with some we have some lettuce rolls.
Let's do it.
We need to have a reunion. John,
Let's do it.
Kimberlee, Krishan, we need to plan that. Y'all need to need to plan that, not me. I don't want to. Yeah, okay, Kimberlee, Kimberlee is going to be the lead committee person planning our reunion for our fellowship.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for stepping up into leadership. We need to have us a reunion.
Hey, Keita.
Yeah. No problem.
Thank you.
Hey, how are you?
All right, y'all. It is 12 o'clock. This has been amazing. John and Thomas, I look forward to hearing more about what y'all talked about, what y'all saw up in there. I'm all excited. That is great. Thank y'all for going and being leaders and going into the community and listening and finding out what's going on. Thank you to the parents that joined us today. Thank you to everybody that joined us last night. It's about to get crumped up in here. Laqueda says hello, loving it. All right. John, you got anything in closing?
It has been a long day and it's 12 o'clock, but seeing parents gives me the energy just to know, the fight continues and we're going to keep growing. Like we're going to keep getting it better, one school at a time, one community at a time, one neighborhood at a time. And that's what organizing is. And I want to thank this administrator for allowing us to host Access Denied in her room today. It was spur of the moment. And but I'm gonna get her copy. I'm gonna find out her name and get her copy on PROPEL.
You don't know her name. I take somebody's room.
Education connects you. She saw I had a computer. We doing a show, and she gave us a quiet place, and so I appreciate it.
Thank you so much to that lady, whatever her name is. We said thank you and God bless her.
Amen.
All right.
We're welcome.
Tammy, put your number. Send us a message in Messenger on our Facebook Messenger.
Hey, Jordan.
Tom, somebody said they finna get you an application of Purpose Prep.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys next Wednesday.
All right, y'all. Take care. Bye-bye.